Your bathroom shelf might be hiding some controversy. CeraVe built its reputation on dermatologist trust and a simple is better philosophy, the kind of brand you stop questioning once it earns a permanent spot in your routine. But lately, social media has been buzzing about 6 of its products, some over formula concerns, some over real-world performance complaints, and some over something a little more serious than just a texture issue. Here are the 6 getting talked about, and 3 that are still holding strong, no matter how loud the noise around the rest of the lineup gets. Number 6. CeraVe Hydrating Sunscreen, SPF 30. The sunscreen everyone recommends for sensitive skin, the one dermatologists hand out like a prescription, the one that, on deeper skin tones, can leave you looking like you just walked through a flower factory. This is a mineral sunscreen built around zinc oxide, which is exactly why it's gentle enough for sensitive and reactive skin. Zinc oxide sits on top of the skin rather than absorbing into it, which is great news if you're prone to irritation. But it's also the reason behind one of the most common complaints in skincare. That same ingredient is why so many users with medium to deep skin tones report a thick, chalky, grayish cast that refuses to blend in. No matter how long you rub it in, how many layers you try, or how many times you wait the recommended absorption time before applying anything on top. Scroll through enough reviews and you'll notice a pattern. People with fair to light skin tend to rave about this sunscreen, calling it lightweight and non-irritating. People with deeper skin tones describe an entirely different product, one that sits visibly on top of the skin, and photographs even worse than it feels in person. It's almost like 2 different sunscreens being reviewed under the same name, depending on who's wearing it, which makes the whole gentle enough for everyone framing feel a little incomplete once you actually read through the comment section, instead of just the product description. For people who picked this up because their dermatologist recommended it, only to look in the mirror and see a ghostly film across their face, the frustration is real. The sunscreen that's supposed to protect you ends up making you avoid wearing sunscreen at all, which is its own kind of problem, especially when sun protection is one of the few things dermatologists agree matters for literally everyone, regardless of skin tone, skin type, or how busy your morning is. It's a strange irony when you think about it. The exact mineral compound that makes this sunscreen safe enough for the most reactive, easily irritated skin types is the same compound making it functionally unusable for an entire population of users who need that protection just as much given how UV damage and hyperpigmentation interact on deeper skin tones. So if the gold standard sunscreen has a blending issue this noticeable, what does that say about the rest of the lineup that's supposed to be for everyone? Number 5 might answer that. Number 5. CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion. This is the lotion in almost every household, cheap, available everywhere, and for years the answer to what moisturizer should I use. But in a market that's moved on, this one might be standing still, quietly doing the same job it did a decade ago while the shelf around it keeps evolving. The formula is built around ceramides and hyaluronic acid, which is solid, basic hydration. For a long time, that was enough. Ceramides help repair the skin barrier, hyaluronic acid pulls moisture into the skin, and the lotion absorbs quickly without feeling greasy. It earned its reputation honestly through actual performance rather than clever marketing, and that reputation isn't really in question here. The problem is the word basic. In a landscape where competitors are packing in niacinamide for brightening, peptides for firmness, and barrier repair actives that do more than just hydrate, this lotion is doing the bare minimum it was doing a decade ago. Walk down any skincare aisle now, and you'll find moisturizers at a similar price point that combine hydration with visible texture improvement, tone evening, or fine line support. This one is still just, well, moisturizing. And for a generation of skincare users who have been taught to expect more from every single product in their routine, that can start to feel like falling behind rather than staying reliable. It's not that it's bad. Dermatologists still recommend it, particularly for people who want something fragrance-free and unlikely to cause irritation, and for sensitive skin or anyone just starting a routine, simple can genuinely be the smarter choice. It's that it hasn't evolved while everything around it has. For people who've used it for years without ever upgrading, there might be something doing the same job, and more, sitting right next to it on the shelf, often from the same brand, which makes the loyalty to this particular bottle a little harder to justify once you actually compare ingredient lists side by side. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, hit that like button and follow for more skincare deep dives, because the next one on this list has people questioning whether their cleanser is even doing its job. Number 4. CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser, the cult favorite cleanser. The one beauty editors call a holy grail, the one that, according to a wave of social media posts, might not actually be cleansing what you think it's cleansing. This cleanser is formulated to be gentle, low foam, and non-stripping, which is great for dry or sensitive skin doing a simple skincare routine. The low foam design means it doesn't disrupt the skin's natural oils, and for people with dry skin, that gentleness is exactly what makes it work as well as it does. It's the reason this bottle ended up on so many best cleanser lists in the first place, and for a specific skin type, the praise has genuinely been earned. But that same gentle formula is exactly why a growing number of users say it leaves a waxy, filmy residue behind, especially if you're using it to remove makeup, sunscreen, or anything heavier than a light moisturizer. The complaint usually goes something like this. You wash your face, it feels clean in the moment, but later in the day or the next morning, there's a slight film that wasn't there before, almost like your skin remembers something your hands didn't catch in the mirror. For some users, that film has been linked to clogged pores and texture issues over time, particularly for people layering this cleanser into a routine that includes heavier sunscreens or full coverage makeup. Online, this has turned into a bigger conversation, with some posts raising broader concerns about formulation and ingredient sourcing that have circulated widely, though these claims have not been independently verified by major regulatory bodies. Still, the perception alone has been enough to make people second-guess a product they trusted for years. Once a crack like that appears in a brand's reputation, even unverified claims tend to stick around in people's minds longer than they should, resurfacing every time someone scrolls past another video questioning the same bottle. For someone whose entire double cleanse routine was built around this bottle, finding out it might be leaving something behind every single night changes how you look at the whole shelf. And the next product on this list takes that concern from leaves a film to maybe triggering breakouts altogether. Number 3. CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. The tub. The iconic oversized tub that everyone's grandmother, mother, and dermatologist swears by. Rich, thick, and famously effective for dry skin, which is exactly the problem if your skin isn't dry. This cream is formulated to be deeply occlusive, locking in moisture for hours, which is wonderful if you have dry or eczema-prone skin. The texture is part of the appeal. It feels like a real moisturizer, the kind that visibly sits on your skin and protects it through the night. For people with genuinely dry skin, especially in winter, this cream has been a long-standing recommendation for good reason, and dermatologists continue to point patients toward it specifically because of how reliably it performs for that skin type. But for people with oily, combination, or acne-prone skin, that same richness has become a recurring complaint, with users reporting clogged pores and new breakouts after switching to it. The cream contains ingredients that, while beneficial for dry skin, can sit heavily on oilier skin types and contribute to congestion over time. It's not an instant reaction for most people, which makes it harder to pin down. Someone might use it for weeks before noticing their skin texture changing, by which point they've often blamed everything except the moisturizer, swapping out cleansers, serums, and even their pillowcase, before circling back to the tub sitting right there on the counter the whole time. The cream isn't doing anything wrong for the skin type it was built for. The issue is that it's been marketed and recommended so broadly, often as a universal best moisturizer, that people with completely different skin needs have been using it and wondering why their skin got worse instead of better. A product that's perfect for one person's dry winter skin can be a slow-motion problem for another person's oily summer skin. And the gap between those two experiences is exactly why this tub keeps showing up in both 5-star and 1-star reviews depending entirely on who's writing them. If a cream this trusted can be the wrong fit for an entire category of skin types, what happens when you add active acne-fighting ingredients into the mix? Number 2 is where that question gets a lot more serious. Number 2. CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotion with SPF. The 2-in-1. Moisturizer and sunscreen in a single step, perfect for anyone trying to simplify their morning routine. Except a simplified routine doesn't help much if the product won't sit still under your makeup. This lotion combines hydration with broad-spectrum SPF, which sounds efficient on paper. Combining 2 steps into one is exactly the kind of product people want, especially for busy mornings when nobody has time for a 5-step routine before walking out the door. In theory, it checks every box. In practice, a recurring complaint is that the formula tends to pill, balling up into little flakes when layered under serums, primers, or makeup. This happens when certain ingredients in different products don't mix well on the skin, and the friction from applying makeup causes the product to roll up into tiny balls instead of absorbing smoothly. It's one of the most frustrating things that can happen mid-routine, because by the time you notice it, you're usually already running late. This isn't unique to one skin type either. People with dry skin, oily skin, and everything in between report the same issue, which suggests it's less about who's using it and more about how the formula behaves once other products enter the mix. That's an important distinction, because it means the problem isn't really about your skin doing something wrong. It's about the formula itself reacting unpredictably the moment it's asked to share space with anything else. For anyone trying to get ready quickly in the morning, ending up with little white rolls of product across your face is the opposite of convenient. And it often means starting your entire routine over, washing everything off, and beginning again with less time than you had to begin with. It's a formula that works in isolation, applied alone, with nothing else on the skin. In that scenario, people reported absorbing fine and providing decent sun protection. But almost nobody's morning routine is just one product, and that's where the cracks start to show. The moment you add a vitamin C serum, a primer, or a tinted moisturizer on top, the pilling complaints start showing up in reviews and comment sections, turning what should be a simple 2-in-1 step into a frustrating guessing game about what order everything needs to go on in to avoid the rolling. If layering is where this lotion struggles, the next product on the list has people questioning the active ingredient itself, and it's the one getting the most attention online by far. Number 1. CeraVe Acne Foaming Cream Cleanser. The acne cleanser that became a viral talking point almost overnight. The one with benzoyl peroxide, the gold standard acne-fighting ingredient dermatologists have recommended for decades, and the one now at the center of a wave of social media posts and legal claims questioning whether that same ingredient could break down into benzene under certain conditions, particularly heat and prolonged storage. Benzoyl peroxide has been a trusted acne treatment for generations, and for good reason. It's one of the few over-the-counter ingredients proven to actually kill acne-causing bacteria. That's part of why this conversation has felt so unsettling to so many people. This isn't some obscure ingredient buried halfway down an unfamiliar label. It's the one your dermatologist specifically told you to look for, the one that's been the foundation of acne treatment recommendations for longer than most of the people using it have been alive. To be clear, these concerns originated from independent lab testing, referenced in viral posts and subsequent lawsuits, and have prompted broader scrutiny of benzoyl peroxide products across the industry. Not just this one. Several other major brands using the same active ingredient have faced similar questions in the same wave of attention, which means this isn't a story about one bottle being uniquely flawed. It's a story about a whole category of acne treatment getting a second look at the same time. The Food and Drug Administration has not issued a recall specific to this product as of this recording, but the conversation has been loud enough that many people are choosing to switch to salicylic acid-based alternatives in the meantime, simply for peace of mind while the science and legal questions play out. That switch isn't necessarily a verdict on the product. For a lot of people, it's just a precaution while the bigger picture becomes clearer. For a product that millions of people use daily, often leaving it on their face for minutes before rinsing, the idea that heat exposure, whether from a hot shower, a car dashboard, or a warm bathroom, could change the chemistry of what's sitting on your skin is the kind of thing that makes you check your shelf immediately, maybe even check where exactly you've been storing the bottle without thinking twice about it. Even if nothing is ultimately proven, the fact that this question is being asked at all about a product this widely used is exactly why it's become the most talked about item on this entire list. If you've made it this far and you're rethinking what's in your skincare cabinet, hit like and follow, because the next part of this video is where we talk about what's actually still worth keeping. But here's what's still earning its spot. Not everything on the shelf deserves to go in the bin. 3 CeraVe products keep showing up in dermatologist recommendations and community reviews for good reason, and none of them have been part of the conversations above. While 6 bottles were busy collecting complaints, comment threads, and the occasional lawsuit, these 3 were quietly sitting on the shelf doing exactly what they were designed to do. Trust pick number 3. CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser. The cleanser that quietly does its job while everything else on this list makes headlines. Built for normal to oily skin, this one removes dirt, oil, and makeup without stripping the skin barrier. Unlike its hydrating sibling, which gets used by every skin type whether it fits or not, this one is designed for oilier skin types from the start. That means the formula and the skin type tend to actually match up, which sounds simple but is rarer than you'd think in skincare, where so many products get adopted far outside the skin type they were originally formulated for simply because of brand reputation alone. Here's the side-by-side nobody's talking about. Remember the hydrating facial cleanser from earlier? The one with all the residue complaints? This is its oilier skin sibling, and it handles the exact problem that one struggles with. The formula is built around a gentle surfactant base that's designed to actually rinse away, rather than leave behind that waxy, filmy feeling. Users who switched from the hydrating version specifically for makeup removal report a cleaner, more squeaky finish, without the tightness that usually comes with cleansers that strip the skin. It's almost like CeraVe accidentally built the fix for one product's biggest complaint into a completely different bottle and never bothered to point that out, leaving users to discover the swap on their own through trial, error, and a fair amount of online research. It's consistently one of the most recommended drugstore cleansers on the market, and the reviews have stayed remarkably consistent over the years, without the kind of viral controversy that's hit other products in this lineup. No lawsuits, no chalky residue complaints, no, "Wait, is this clogging my pores?" Panic. Just a cleanser that cleanses for the skin type it was actually made for, doing the same reliable job today that it was doing 5 years ago without needing a reformulation to keep up. If a cleanser this unremarkable can be this trustworthy, the next product on the list takes boring but reliable to a whole new level and somehow makes it exciting. Trust. Pick number 2. CeraVe Healing Ointment. Think of it as a smarter petroleum jelly. And honestly, that's the whole pitch. It locks in moisture for chapped lips, cracked hands, or healing skin after a procedure. But the formula adds ceramides and other skin barrier ingredients on top of the basic occlusive function. That extra layer is part of why dermatologists recommend it specifically for things like post-procedure healing, severely dry patches, and even as an overnight lip treatment. Situations where a plain petroleum jelly might do the basic job, but this version does a little more without asking you to do anything differently. It does one job, and it does it well, without trying to be anything more. No marketing claims about anti-aging, no influencer campaigns, no controversy. Just a tub of something that works exactly the way it says it will, every single time you reach for it, which in a skincare landscape full of over-promising and under-delivering is honestly a little refreshing on its own. And here's why this one keeps going viral for reasons that have nothing to do with controversy. People have started using it for things far beyond the label. Tattoo artists recommend it for aftercare because it creates a protective barrier without clogging the area. Parents keep a tub in the diaper bag for everything from windburned cheeks to cracked heels. Some people even use a thin layer over freshly applied skincare at night to lock in hydration, a trick dermatologists sometimes call slugging. The product never claims to do any of this. It's just thick, occlusive, and packed with enough barrier-supporting ingredients that people keep finding new uses for it, which is the kind of organic reputation no marketing budget can buy. The kind that spreads because it actually works, rather than because a brand paid for it to spread. In a list full of products people are second-guessing, this is the one nobody questions, and the last one on this list might be the reason your nighttime routine has been quietly working better than you realized. Trust pick. Number 1. CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion. Lightweight, packed with ceramides, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid, and designed to absorb without that heavy, greasy feeling. Where the daily moisturizing lotion has been criticized for feeling outdated, this one includes niacinamide, which helps with tone and texture, giving it a bit more to offer for the same general purpose. It's a small difference on paper, but it's the kind of difference that shows up in side-by-side comparisons over and over again, the kind that explains why one bottle keeps getting recommended in routine breakdowns, while its daytime sibling keeps getting quietly skipped over. For a nighttime moisturizer that actually does something beyond just sitting on your face, this is the one that keeps coming up. No pilling complaints, no clogged pore concerns, no viral lawsuits. Just a formula that quietly evolved while a few of its shelf mates stayed stuck in the past, proving that the brand is capable of updating a formula when it actually wants to. Remember the pilling problem from the AM lotion with SPF? This is the formula that doesn't have that issue, because this one is designed for nighttime use. When most people aren't layering it under makeup or sunscreen, the ingredients have a much easier time absorbing without rolling up into little balls. It's a small detail, but it's the kind of thing that makes a real difference if your routine includes serums or treatments before bed. Apply your actives first, let them sink in, then follow with this, and most users report it absorbs cleanly with no residue and no pilling. If the AM lotion is the one giving people trouble under makeup, this is the one quietly doing its job after dark, with nobody complaining about it night after night without ever needing to go viral to prove it works. 6 products getting questioned, 3 still holding strong. The lesson here isn't that CeraVe is suddenly a brand to avoid. It's that even trusted names deserve a second look every once in a while, especially when new information or community feedback starts to pile up. Brands evolve, formulas get updated, and what worked perfectly for your skin 2 years ago might not be the best option sitting on the shelf today. Before you toss anything, talk to your dermatologist, especially when it comes to active ingredients like benzoyl peroxide, since they can help you weigh the actual risk against the benefit for your specific skin. And if this kind of breakdown helped you take a closer look at your own skincare shelf, give this video a like and follow for more, because there's a lot more sitting in your bathroom cabinet that deserves a second look. There's a video on your left revealing more secrets the industry is trying desperately hard to protect. Click it now, and I'll meet you there.